Ladies and gentlemen, fellow firefighters and distinguished guests, I'd like to welcome you here to the Glen Royal this evening, to this award ceremony. We're just kicking off a wee bit late, sorry about that. So I'm actually after being thrown into the deep end here by our chairman, Mr. Stephen McFadden. He's upstairs unwell, so look, it can't be helped. We'll take him out of a hole. So first of all, I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome you all here this evening, and I would like to extend a very special welcome to the families of the firefighters group to be honoured here this evening. All right. This is the first time that such an event like this has taken place by our association. It's a national association, so it covers the country. We are delighted to have today Minister Damien English to honour these firefighters and their families. So thank you, Damien, for that. The Minister will be presenting the awards to the families as a show of appreciation and gratitude for the service of their loved ones. All right? And we are grateful to the Minister for his attendance here today, as indeed we are grateful to all of you for being here as a show of solidarity and support for the families of past firefighters. Most of all of the counties of Ireland are not represented here this evening, but as a mark of respect to these firefighters who passed away while still in service. So the lads that passed away would have been still in service on 2016, and they would have been entitled to these awards, so we'd like to honour them here today. I will, in a moment, I'll pass you over to Minister Damien English to say a few words, but before we do that, I feel I must say a few words of appreciation of the Minister present here with us. Our association first met with Damien and a few others from his department back at the end of March this year in Dáil Éireann. Since that meeting, Minister English has made good on his commitments he made at the meeting in regards to delivery of these awards. All right. For 40 year service medals he committed that he gave, and they were presented there back a couple of months ago or weeks ago. So he came good in that. Second commitment was to deliver 1916 commemoration medals to the firefighters as soon as he could. At the end of the meeting, Damien stated that his door was always open to the NRFA, but since all the torture and everything we've given over the couple of months, until we receive these medals, I don't know if his door is as wide open as it was. He might be shutting it out of business, but look, it's great that he's given this commitment, and we're here now to start with these medals. All right, back in March he gave this commitment. So without further ado, I'd like to call on the Minister to say a few words, and he is here today.
Thanks, Conor, for that kind of introduction. I have to go and find Stephen afterwards, see where he's hiding out. But I know, in fairness to Stephen, as your chairperson, he's very dedicated to the work you do. And Conor's right, he never gets off the phone. And Marta from our department about that as well. So I'm laughing at you as a representative body. He certainly does a great job, because no matter what the issue is, he keeps after and keeps chasing. So Stephen, Conor, and all the team at the top table as well, and the other guys too around the county who represent you and do a good job, are certainly doing a good job and keeping the pressure on as well. So thanks for having me here tonight, guys, and for the invitation. I'm sorry we were a bit late. That's probably my fault for starting late. I misjudged the traffic a minute. He swear I didn't 100 miles away. But Dublin County Meet. But I'm sorry about that as well. So I'm glad you're all able to be here today yourselves for this event and for your own meetings as well. And I want to welcome my colleague Deputy John Brady as well. Again, who fights very hard on behalf of all the issues as well. And I know this certainly today is close to the heart of where you come from as well, so I understand that as well, and I'm delighted you could be here, John, and all the colleagues as well, but because it is very much, it's fair to say that when it comes to the support of the work you do and your families do, and your loved ones do over the years, it's well recognised in Dáil Éireann, cross-party support for all the work you do. And whenever we have debates or motions fighting for resources for yourselves or for different issues, it's generally always very well supported by anybody in politics, because we recognise, we know what you do in the front line, and day in, day out, representing people, looking after people, and trying to always be there from a public safety point of view. You do immense work day in, day out, and we recognise that as well, and it's important that we do. So I'm glad to be, certainly as one of the ministers in our department, on behalf of myself and my department, and I'm happy to be able to come today to be with you today for this day of memory, and also for presentations, but also I know you've had your other meetings today as well. So again, just to say, we recognise that local authority firefighters provide a core frontline service which is critical to public safety. I'll actually go further by saying that the firefighter is more than just a job. I think you guys recognise this, and certainly the families of loved ones here recognise that as well. It's a lot more than a job, it's a vocation. And it certainly is about, for many of you, it's about your life as well. And it certainly is a vocation that puts the needs of the community first, day in, day out. So it's with this thought in mind that I'm grateful to have the opportunity to personally express my appreciation to you, to yourselves, guys that are still in the force, still doing the work, but also to all the families here, of existing colleagues and past colleagues as well, because you give up so much on behalf of the state, and that's what I recognise as well. Again, it's families who provide that vital support for the vital contribution that your loved ones have made to the safety of society during this years of service as well. Because families support all this great work, and without the love of families and support of families, it would be very hard and very difficult to do this work. So the credit is to yourselves as well. Again, turning to colleagues who passed away, it is never easy to lose someone, and it certainly must be especially difficult when that person has dedicated their lives to the safety of others. And that's exactly what we've done here with our colleagues. I would like you also to recognise the role that's been played over the years by yourselves, the families of deceased firefighters. It is no easy thing to support those carrying out their roles for the fire service, worrying with them as they respond to calls for their help, and all the time wondering what's going to happen in different weather events, because I certainly seen the various storms over the last couple of years in our department where we're coordinating the services around that. It's often your guys, yourselves, your colleagues and your friends that are first out there and are first dispatched to try to respond to that as well. So there are difficult times for yourselves and families, and worrying with that as well, and what comes with that as well. But also you're there and you're watching the clocks when someone comes home, returns home, and hoping that it'll happen not that late into the day, and always that concern is there as well. So again, I want to thank you for your unwavering support that you've given, which no doubt sustained and no doubt to serve the public. As Conor has mentioned, and certainly as many would know, members of your association have been early this year, probably February or March, and we've had a few meetings ever since, and plenty of phone calls as well, to discuss many issues that are affecting yourselves as an organisation and as retained firefighters, and all the work you do as well, the different parts of the agenda that have been worked through over the last year as well. And we do have commitments there to try to respond to the needs, and certainly the length of service, that's part of that, and the years of service and the age you have to retire at as well. They're all issues that the guys have been fighting for, as well as proper paying conditions naturally, which have to respond to that, because in different parts of the country there's different call-outs and different structures there, and we're trying to straighten out and work on that over the years ahead as well, to make sure it's reflective and it makes it possible to do the job you do. Because I'm conscious in your case it is now a full-time job, but it has to also it's become a full-time job, but you have to be available as well in many cases too, so we have to respect that and acknowledge that, and the guys are working on your behalf through us in that issue as well. So again, one of the issues that we discussed that time was also the presentation of the commemoration of 1916 and those commemorative medals to all members of the Irish Fire Service, similar to those that were presented to the members of the Defence Forces. So my department has initiated the procurement process for these medals, and I'm delighted to announce that these medals will be distributed through all local authorities early next year to all firefighters nominated by the fire services who served during 2016. The guys were particularly concerned that we would make sure that we recognised colleagues who are no longer with us in these medals as well, and who, if they were here today and here in 2016, would have been in the service and would have been getting these medals as well. So today I'm delighted to be here on behalf of the National Retained Fire Service Association, Firefighters Association, to present medals to the retained firefighters and to their families, remembering and honouring our deceased colleagues. I'm honoured to be asked to make this presentation on behalf of all retained firefighters around the country. I want to join with them all and with all of them and all of you and thank them for the service as well, because I know, talking to your colleagues and certainly talking to the lads here who are representing you as well, it really pulls in your heart when you lose a colleague. Families, of course, it's totally different, but for your colleagues, and I think it's important that families recognise that colleagues will always remember. I'll always remember for all the years as well. So again, we're glad to be here, the chances to recognise that, and just to recognise Niall McKee, John Kelly, Michael Liston, Mark O'Shaughnessy and Brian Murray. I know different members of the families here. I think we've Louise O'Sullivan here, the sister of Niall's. Is it Niall or Neil? I'll make sure you get that right. Neil, sorry guys, I'm always getting them mixed up as well. I didn't get Louise, isn't it? I'm glad you'll be here as well. And then Kay Kelly is the wife of Joe. There's Kay here, which is the wedding something as well. And we've Bernard that Liston. It was Michael's wife, and we've Eamon O'Shaughnessy, who's a brother of Mark's, and we've Keane Murray and Sinead Murray, and I think Keane is the son of Brian. Where's Keane? Is he here with us? Alan Keane. How are you, Keane? I'm glad you could make it. Thanks. You look well in the Dicky book. We could have had you in the Late Late Show last night, couldn't we? You know. But I'm glad you could be here, and I know that, and John's here with you as well, and I'm glad to see that as well. So maybe we might be able to present the medals. And look, guys, thanks for having me, and thanks for all the great work you're doing. And I think it's important we have this event as well to recognise there'll be many more occasions, and I look forward to during 2019 there'll be other occasions to present the different medals as well. So again, keep up the good work you're doing as we remember colleagues, and continue to provide that service to the public in the front line. Well done, and thanks very much.
Thank you, Minister, for your input there. So now, what we proceed to do now is to do the first part of our award ceremony. The Minister will hand over the awards to the families of firefighters who died in service. All right. The first award of this evening will be presented to the family of the late Neil McGee, Station Officer of Lochray Fire Station, County Galway. If you'd like to come up, Minister, and Louise is Neil's sister. She's going to accept it on behalf of you. Next, we go to my own home county for the second award, and it will be presented to the family of firefighter Joe Kelly. Joe was a firefighter in Fulcar Fire Station, County Donegal. He was very highly thought about throughout Donegal, Joe was, and he sadly passed away in February this year. So I'd like to call on Kay, his wife, to come up and accept the award on behalf of Joe. So this brings us to our second part of our ceremony, and with it comes the harsh reality of what it means to be a firefighter. One that resonates deeply with not only us as firefighters, but our families as well. When you become a firefighter, especially a whole-time retaining firefighter, we expose our loved ones to a certain amount of fear and anxiety. Because of the nature of the job we do affects seriously the entire dynamics of life, of family life. And whether we like it or not, or no matter how hard we try, we cannot prevent the job we do affect the lives of our families. When that page goes off, we must respond, whether it be to at a family event, at the breakfast or dinner table, at the beach, or at the child's football match, or in your bed at night. The whole time retained firefighters has to be able to respond at the drop of a hat to a 999 emergency call, 24/7, 365. In many cases, and as a result, our family life will definitely suffer. So we all know that. Any firefighter sitting down there knows the commitment you give to your community. These families of firefighters understand more than most the true gravity of being a member of the fire service. Their loved ones answer the call, and the reality is for all of us is in responding to a 999 emergency call, one never knows what they are going to face, or indeed if they'll come home. And that is the naked truth of being a firefighter or being married to a firefighter. So firstly, the first family to receive an award for the firefighters who died in active service is the family of firefighter Michael Liston. Bernadette, the wife of Michael, is going to come forward now and accept the award on behalf of Michael. Next we'll call on the family of firefighter Mark O'Shaughnessy. Mark was a member of the Bray Fire Service Station, and sadly lost his life while fighting fire in Bray. So we're going to call on his brother Eamon to come forward and receive. The third and final presentation tonight is to the Murray family on behalf of Substation Officer Brian Murray. Along with Mark, went in that tragic day in Bray to fight a fire, and sadly the guys never returned. Brian's family are here this evening, and Cian and Sinead, his son and daughter, are going to accept the award on behalf of Brian. Okay? Family there it's a particularly special award to them, as Brian's son, who also is an active firefighter in Bray still. So there's a strong history of firefighting within the Murray's family, and they will understand the commitment that is given to the firefighting community. So thank you for being here today and accepting the award on behalf of them. So that concludes this evening award ceremony. I would like to offer sincere thanks to all of the families in attendance tonight for these historical awards. They are historical. It's the first time ever that any firefighter has been honoured in this way, and it's rightly so deserved. I also wish to thank Minister Damien English for taking the time out of his busy schedule to be here this evening to honour these brave men. NRFA committee members also, there was a fierce bit of work done in the background on the phone, as Damien alluded to. Not only to Damien, but every other TD in the Eastern Seaboard was tortured for long and long. But they came through with a commitment. So I'd like to thank the committee for their hard work on this, pulling this off today. This event wouldn't happen without everybody pulling together and working hard. We will now break for a short time to allow for photos. So if you see any of the families, the whole family want to come up, maybe Damien and John, you might want to get in for photos. And refreshments will be available. And again, I'd like to thank you all for being here for such an important occasion. And also, I suppose with it being the 1st of December, it wouldn't be wrong to wish you all a happy Christmas. And I want to make sure everybody gets home safe and be careful on the way home. Alright, thank you very much.
Nice to meet you. How are you? That's my sister. How are you? That's about you. Nice to meet you. He has us there. Sorry. Okay. Perfect. Take a bigger camera. How are you?
Lovely lads. I'm trying to make, it's a hard job trying to make you look good, you know.
Can't pull it any further.
Brilliant.
Gregory, Jesus. Where are we looking at?
Looking at yeah. Some machine.
It's like a pennant.